Hi everyone, I'm Marina, I'm an addict. Thank you everyone, thank you for the cheer. It was really, really I haven't felt that loud of a cheer in a long time. I'm actually really sorry I was creating a bit of a distraction when you were doing the reading just then. I was looking through this window, just like how I would look through any other window. And for those, a lot of people in the room will know, but for those who don't know, I don't even know how long ago, maybe 18 months ago, this window got shattered, got completely broken. And then you were just pointing out that it's actually been fixed. I hadn't even noticed. I could not contain my excitement. We have all been waiting for this window to get fixed for so long. And there it is, and it looks great, and it just looks like I'm still so happy about it, honestly.
And we haven't even paid for it.
But no, I'm very happy that window has been fixed, and I'm very grateful that you pointed it out. And I'm kind of just thinking about that and how that feels like something relevant, in my recovery and in my head and in the world around us, and how we need people to kind of help us, you know what I mean? I'm kind of thinking when I don't always think to pay attention to those positive things, and I need to do that, and gratitude lists are how I do that, you know, I can go about my day, and it's only when I really pause and think oh, I'm so glad that thing happened, you know, I really need that to kind of offset my negative thinking, because if I don't have that negative thinking will just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and the positive thinking bubble will just get smaller and smaller. So yeah, I feel really lucky that you pointed it out. I wouldn't have realised. I would have literally just gone out of this meeting and just think, yeah, what window? Even though every business meeting we've had for the last 18 months, we always talk about the window and what's happening. But no, it's really lovely to be in this room, in this meeting with everyone here. I feel incredibly lucky. I don't believe in luck. I think luck is a very, very real thing. I think my kind of opinion on it is that you kind of can't be in this room and not believe in some kind of luck. I think everyone here is a lucky person to be here. I think we've all had some kind of luck, if not even a kind of miracle, basically, to make it here. And I don't know why that window is just really making me it's really making me feel it. But no, I'm here today because on April 10th, I was clean for 5 years. So yeah, my clean date is from obviously April 10th, 2021. And I hadn't really got it quite yet. That was when I last used, obviously. I was using in a treatment centre, and I thought, I've done it. I've done controlled using. But I was in a treatment centre that has triple security locked doors. So yeah, I mean, it's not really controlled using if you're locked in locked in this place, basically. I was very sneaky about it. Obviously, you're not allowed to be using there. I didn't own up to it at the time when I did it. I owned up to it later. I went back to the treatment centre and I said to them there was a certain day that I was here, and I just wanted to say I was really sneaky. I was really dishonest. I was using in my room privately on my own. And the way I said it, I kind of threw in this comment of there needs to be more urine testing here, maybe, maybe there should be more room checks. And they were no, we don't need the kind of feedback, we're doing things fine, but we can tell that you just want to tell us, you want to get this off your chest, and I think that was so right. I don't need to be telling them any feedback. It was to clear my conscience, it was something that I needed to do to kind of just get honest, basically, with myself. I didn't want to say it at the time because I knew I would have gotten kicked out, and I was really scared of getting kicked out, which isn't what normal people think. They don't think, oh, I'm scared to like be in the like world, you know, but I really was. So I kept it my little secret. And then when I did go out, I went to another treatment centre just because I was really worried that I would lose that time that I had. But yeah, I was doing meetings, I was doing like some kind of outside help therapy as well. And I always say this, like I got clean because of meetings, not because of therapy. Like I'd been doing therapy for a long time before. That's not why I got clean, you know. I'm actually having a little off season in my therapy. I'm not having therapy right now. I'm in a kind of, little off season, which is like an athletic way of saying I'm doing. I'm not doing it. But yeah, it feels kind of interesting because like I think because therapy's been a big part of my life. I've had therapy on and off for like the majority of my life. Started quite early on the therapy, which partly family stuff, I guess. But it just, like I say, it didn't stop me wanting to use. It didn't help I didn't get identification. I didn't hear other people. Like the penny just didn't drop in therapy. Whereas here, like I remember in my early recovery, I can really, really like vividly remember hearing certain people say things, and it's like the penny just drops, you know. Like I remember hearing someone who'd been through like a lot, and they were doing so great, and I just remember thinking like, who the hell am I making excuses that NA isn't going to work for me? It's like if it worked for this person and they're like smashing life, I really haven't got any excuse basically. And it worked because I felt like people like me wanted to help me, and I just never really felt that in therapy or in life basically before. Like I'd never really felt like people really care, and we genuinely care so much about the newcomer. And I didn't understand it. I was like, why are they doing this? And someone actually said, I did actually ask that one time to someone. She was like, oh, you know, like I can recommend you to like a meeting. I remember just kind of saying like, why are you doing this? Like I really didn't understand like why people were. And this woman just said like, this is what we do. Like this is what NA 12 step is all about. You know, like this is what. Thank you. I went past like lightning. This is what the program is all about. You know, it's about kind of, we genuinely care, we genuinely want to help, we've been in your position. And the weirdest thing is I actually don't remember this woman's name. But she's somewhere in my contacts because I still have her number. But it was really, really special though, what this woman said though. And it is true, like I do believe that, and I still kind of practice that, you know, we have to, one of my favourite kind of, I don't know if is it one of the traditions? I don't think it is, but one of my favourite kind of, I guess it's just the whole of the 12 steps really, is we keep what we have by giving it away. And I've just always found that very true, and actually quite recently I heard someone say that if you don't give it away, it will be taken from you. And I found that quite an ominous way of putting it, but it's actually true. Like if you don't help other people, this recovery stuff, it might get taken from you, you know, like that just really stayed with me, so I thought I wanted to share that, give it away. But no, I was sharing with someone else before the meeting, like how, like over time, the people that I know who've stayed clean, that number is getting smaller and smaller, and it is quite sad, you know. Like there are still people who I knew when I got clean, they are still clean, but that number it gets lower, you know. And I know people who've obviously been like really close to me, or people who just really care about people who I really looked up to in recovery, and they're not here, they're not in the rooms anymore. Some of them aren't actually alive anymore, which is like, to me, just like devastating. But yeah, I think relapse is it's a very genuine fear that I have. I am scared of relapse. Like I don't entertain the thought that it would be okay just for a day, or it would be okay for a little bit, and then maybe it would go to shit. It's like it's like that horror film that you just don't even want to look at. That's kind of my reaction to thinking about relapse, is I don't want to know what my relapse will ever look like, basically. I kind of think of it as putting recovery like through like a paper shredder, and all the bits of paper are just, you know, they're there because people say that when you relapse, right, like the recovery doesn't just disappear, but it's kind of, I always think of it as like it's gone through this paper shredder, and then when people come back to the rooms, I think that's the strongest thing. And I thought when people relapse, they come back to the rooms, right? That's what they all do. That's what you hear about. You hear about people saying they're back from a relapse. And what I've kind of learned is like, it's not always the case, you know? And like, they're the people who've been able to put these shredded pieces of paper and kind of put it back together, or like make a whole new piece of paper or something like that, you know what I mean? But sometimes that's not always how it goes. So yeah, I think, you know, meetings are here. I feel like people will hear what they need to hear in meetings, and that positivity and that luck and that serendipity and that kind of higher power, whatever you want to call it, I think is actually all around us. If we're like just open to it, you know, it doesn't mean like we have to have some whole like new theory on a new religion or anything like that. It's just, is there something happening that something bigger than me is like trying to tell me, you know, like that's how I kind of see my higher power moments, maybe like this window, but maybe just like in other kind of areas, it's like I get that sense of like, this is trying to teach me something, this is trying to tell me something, like this isn't just some ordinary coincidence. And I think there's a lot of meaningful situations like that in life, obviously. And yeah, I will wrap up super quickly. I also just want to share, I'm doing pretty well on my steps. I'm doing a step weekend for the first time in my life, where I go to my sponsor's house, 8 a.m, I'm there. I leave at 8 p.m, we do the same thing on the following day, and it's like a really, really intense step weekend. And I'm so excited about it. And I don't care how like it's been blocked out in my calendar. She was asking me like, tell me what you want to eat, I'll give you like, and I'm just really excited for it, you know, like there's been a lot of things where I'll say certain things to my sponsor. I'm like, what do I do? Maybe I should change this. Maybe I need to try this whole new thing. What do I do? And she just says, wait for the step weekend. A lot will be clearer after that. And I know she's right. I think I kind of tried to do a little bit too much too quickly. And I think what NA has taught me is that change is literally day by day. Like nothing happens overnight. We don't just suddenly like change everything, you know, things kind of, it happens at quite a slow pace, but it happens. You just have to like be patient enough to like see that happen and get the kind of wait for the flower to kind of blossom or something. But no, I was saying before the meeting, before this chair, like, you know, people say you've got 3 different chairs. There's the chair that you do in your head before, there's the chair that you actually do, and then there's the chair that you do in your head after. And I honestly had no idea what was going to come out of my mouth today. I hadn't done the chair before. I have done the real chair now, and I think now it's time for me to just kind of wrap it up and hopefully not do another chair in my head, because I don't need to do that. I can just kind of, kind of trust myself that it's all okay. But thank you everyone for being here. and for listening to me ramble for 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, I feel very, very grateful to be here. And like I say, I think every single person in here is lucky to be here. And yeah, recovery has just been a real blessing and a real miracle for me. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you.